I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. I want to show you some of the recent posts that Donald Trump has made on his social media platform within the 24 to 48 hour period following President Biden's incredible State of the Union. These are some of the most detestable, reprehensible, and just weird and bizarre posts. Let's remember, folks, why we're covering this here on the MeidasTouch Network is because this is the leader of the modern day Republican Party, which is the MAGA Republican Party. And I'm sorry, we are not going to cover our eyes and close our ears to the fact that one of the major political parties in the United States of America, the Republican Party, which is now the MAGA Republican Party, is a full-fledged fascist party. It is a cult, and it is led by a cult leader who posts these things on his social media platform. It should be absolutely disqualifying, and I'm sick and tired and I'm fed up with large media networks normalizing this behavior. Frankly, it should be condemned each and every day and called out. I'll just show you what some of these posts are. So Donald Trump reposts this thing. It says, "Clowns have infiltrated every system around the globe." And then that links to a post that says, "Trump is a master communicator, leads them around by the nose, and then shines light, ... The storm is brewing. Expect huge waves," spelled with a capital Y, "gonna be biblical," spelled with a capital B. "Seek shelter if in harm's way." That's a bizarre photo of Donald Trump, which says, "Fate whispers to Trump, you cannot withstand the storm. Trump whispers back, I am the storm." And so to be clear, yet again, Donald Trump is posting a QAnon meme, QAnon phrasing, QAnon death cult supporter information. The QAnon saying is the storm is coming. Donald Trump knows exactly what he's posting. What the storm is coming, just so y'all know what that refers to. Under the QAnon death cult, the storm is coming means that Donald Trump, via public executions that are going to take place on TV, is going to declare himself the emperor and take over the government. That's part of the QAnon death cult lore. When they say the storm is coming and use that imagery, Trump knows that, and he's posting that, and the Republican Party is fine with that. You don't get more traitorous, disgusting, and despicable than that conduct right there. He then posts this thing from someone named Lara45 on his social media platform, and it's this weird photo of Trump. I don't even know what he's doing in this photo. It's just some bizarre stuff, and he reposts this. Again, how weird. Yes, dangerous. Yes, despicable, but just weird. Then he posts his attack on the right-wing group, or Republican group, Club for Growth. And this is how he attacks them. Before, he's been calling them globalists and rhinos. And the reason he's calling them that is they conducted a poll which showed that in a head-to-head matchup, DeSantis leads Trump in the Republican primary. So because of that, he attacks the Club for Growth, and he attacks all Republicans unless you're directly part of the Trump MAGA QAnon cult. And this is what Trump says. "Club for Growth endorsed 24 candidates during the 2022 midterms, losing 25% of them. On the other hand, President Trump was 233 wins out of 253 races." Okay. It's one of some of the most humiliating stuff. Donald Trump, you had some of the worst track records in American electoral history in the 2022 midterms. There was no red wave. The candidates you endorsed were equally as weird and despicable as you and everything that MAGA Republicans are. You didn't win. This was not a successful midterm for you and for the Republican Party. And the level of delusion and the weirdness, he just keeps writing it to his cult followers. And yet the MAGA Republicans still support this guy. This video is brought to you by Masterworks, and congratulations to some of you who may have gotten a return when they recently sold a painting for a 13.9% net return. See, Masterworks is a company with a pretty cool concept. Masterworks allows you to invest in and own fractional shares of some of the most rare and exclusive artwork. The Masterworks research team uses proprietary data to determine which artist markets have the most momentum, and then their acquisition team locates what they believe is a good piece at a fair price, and they purchase the work. They then file an offering circular with the Securities Exchange Commission, allowing you to invest. And then Masterworks usually holds the artwork for 3 to 10 years. Then they sell the painting, and if the investment is successful, the investors receive their money back, plus their pro rata share of profits after the fees to Masterworks are paid. We're talking about works by Banksy and Picasso. By signing up with Masterworks and investing in paintings by these artists, you will become a fractional share owner of these historic paintings. Here is some more good news about Masterworks. In Masterworks' last 3 sales, they've delivered net returns of 17.8%, 21.5%, and 33.1% to their investors. So their investors got their money back plus a handsome profit. That doesn't mean future results will always be this way, but in my mind, if you have the ability to do this, and again, only if you have the ability, you get to own a part of a legendary piece of artwork, and there's always that potential that you can make a profit. Nearly 600,000 people have signed up so far, and to keep up with the demand, Masterworks is launching new paintings on a weekly basis. New offerings have sold out within minutes, but you can gain priority access to new offerings when you sign up at the link in the description. Net return refers to the annualized internal rate of return, net of all fees and costs, calculated from the offering closing date to the date of sale is consummated. IRR may not be indicative of Masterworks paintings not yet sold, and past performance is not indicative of future results. See important Reg A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. He goes on to post, biggest story on election fraud in USA history, currently going on in Congress. Mainstream media hates it. Horrible borders, even worse elections. 2020 was rigged. I suppose he's talking about here the hearings that the Oversight Committee held when they had former Twitter executives show up. And what it actually turned out is that President Biden engaged in zilch interference. I think President Biden even directly uses Twitter himself. He probably just has his staff handle it. But the Biden administration engaged in no interference at all with Twitter. Yet when Trump was in office, Trump continued to call Twitter, had his people called on Twitter, used the United States government to try to influence Twitter, to take down posts that hurt Trump's ego. For example, when Chrissy Teigen called Donald Trump a PAB, which you could go back and watch the video I did on Twitter. When she called Trump a mean name, Trump had the government call up Twitter and say, take down the mean Chrissy Teigen post. Donald Trump continued to intervene while he was in office to intimidate and threaten Twitter, and even influence Twitter's policies, change Twitter's policies against hate, against disinformation, to allow Trump to spew disinformation and hate. If anything, what the hearing showed was that Twitter had a MAGA right-wing bias because they were threatened and intimidated by Donald Trump's government. Zero about Biden at all. That's what the hearings were. So the fact that Trump just wants to gaslight and continue to just lie and say, this was the biggest story of election fraud. You were in office. You act like the FBI is something. You appointed the FBI director, Christopher Wray. All of these people who you're now calling Democrats or rhinos, you appointed. And I know you want to just brainwash your followers and treat your followers like idiots, but guess what? When they actually watch President Biden at the State of the Union, when America gets to see Biden at the State of the Union and see how good he is, That's why you're so scared. That's why they have Fox. That's why they have OAN. That's why they have Newsmax. The right wing works so hard to spew disinformation because if you get an opportunity to actually listen to President Biden talking about jobs, infrastructure, healthcare, supporting our veterans, loving the United States of America, helping our allies. I got so many messages at the end of Biden's State of the Union from friends who were not even political, who were saying, Ben, how could anybody be against what Biden was saying? How are people opposing that? Well, when they get disinformation injected every day with people who are trying to intentionally and maliciously destroy their lives so that they could create a billionaire oligarchy, MAGA weirdo Republican world where you do this QAnon stuff. There's agendas going on there. That's why they want to continue to lie. Here, Donald Trump posts this thing from Just the News because Donald Trump's obsessed with the Pulitzer Prize. It's like the weirdest thing. You know, he sued the Pulitzer Board in Okeechobee County. He picked a random county in Florida to try to judge shop and pick the judge that he wants. And there's nothing to do with Okeechobee County. This is what Donald Trump posted from this thing, Just the News, which is the opposite of Just the News. It's some right-wing extremist thing. And Trump goes, panel, this is what he's quoting, Just the News is saying, panel that awarded Pulitzers for Russiagate stories mum after scathing expose on reporting failures. No, they're mum after whatever you wrote, because it's not scathing. You're just making stuff up. They don't know who you are. They don't care, the Pulitzer Board, about any of your right-wing MAGA BS garbage. The lawsuit that you filed is frivolous. You're going to be sanctioned again, just like you were sanctioned $1 million for filing a frivolous lawsuit in the Southern District of New York. There's no scathing expose. You're living in this weirdo, MAGA, strange echo chamber where all of these MAGA Republicans live. What's been so great about these committee hearings, and what's going to be great as the MAGA Republicans continue to have these hearings, is that it really exposes themselves. Number one, because they're dumb. These MAGA Republican politicians, like, they're not intelligent people. It's objective reality when you see them. They're not smart. They think they're smart. They think they have these Perry Mason moments where they're connecting dots, but they're deranged conspiracy theories, malicious conspiracy theories. It's just so strange to watch them think they're making points, and they're saying the most illogical, incomprehensible stuff. So it's one of the things that you see as they expose themselves. But then when they actually have to confront like intelligent human beings who can say, what are you talking about? And then you have the Democrats pushing back and basically correcting the record. And you could see on display Democrats, adults in the room, intelligent people in the room using logic, and MAGA Republicans just fumbling and bumbling. It's a sight to behold. Here, Donald Trump takes a shot at DeSantis. He goes, watch. He's reposting this. DeSantis is currently hosting a roundtable with lawyers. One of the lawyers at the DeSantis roundtable is Libby Locke. She represents Dominion voting machines against Lindell, Giuliani, and other conservatives. He says Libby is an extraordinaire at First Amendment defamation law. That's more Donald Trump attacking DeSantis. Let's be very clear. Lindell, Giuliani are not conservatives. They are fascists. Trump is a fascist. DeSantis is a fascist. I cheer on this MAGA fascist civil war where their weirdness, their hate will all be exposed, and their craziness and the QAnon-ish. And then you compare that to adults in the room, President Biden, getting things done for the American people. It's a sight to behold. It's important protection of our democracy. But there you have it, folks. More Donald Trump, despicable posts. We got to call it out each and every day. Don't give him an inch. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We are on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. So please hit subscribe now. It's free to subscribe. In addition to hitting the subscribe button now, please check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You will love the exclusive content we have on our Patreon site, but most importantly, it helps grow this independent media platform since we're not funded by any outside investors at all. So check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.